Om. Namaste. Welcome to our little Yoga for Peace retreat for practicing with us today on the Easter day. We'll take a practice today starting with Yin Yoga, continuing with meditation and ending with a little bit of input contemplation. And that leaves afterwards a bit of time for questions if there are and interaction. So today it's the Easter day, and I have to say I'm at the moment so inspired by Jesus, by the actions of Jesus, by the words of Jesus. I'm reading this children's Bible with Serena, with our little daughter, and we are both so touched actually by this profound, beyond kind of graspable, unconditional love, like how Jesus' door is always, always open, and by this complete forgivenessness that he's living, embodying. So like I myself am deeply touched by that, and it is my wish and my prayer for today, for myself and for the whole world, to be a little bit like Jesus, to bring more of Jesus into our lives, into our world. And with that, I feel this is how we can move towards peacefulness. And I'd like to invite you to just join into a peaceful Yin Yoga practice. That's a Yin Yoga practice. You will need a little bit of props for that. In case you're not set up yet, I will start with an initial short warm-up flow, and this is when you can just run off and get yourself ready in case you're not ready. So what you need is your yoga mat, obviously. Maybe a flat pillow, a bolster is really nice to have. If you don't have a bolster, a cushion from your bed is great, and a block or anything block-like, that can be a thick book or anything, will be also great during practice. Alright, so with that, we'll settle into the space, and I would like to invite you, in case you don't have to get ready with your props, to just come into a folded leg position if that feels comfortable. If crossed legs is more accessible, you're welcome to sit crossed legs. Just for a moment to dive in, to drop in, to settle and ground. So we'll just take a moment seated, closing the eyes, and just checking in with our spine at first. With an in-breath, gently lifting the heart, filling the chest. And with an out-breath, letting the tailbone just a little lengthen towards the floor. Another in-breath, sending the top of the head up towards the sky. And the out-breath, relaxing the shoulders back and down. We'll just sit here for a moment, allowing the body to relax and to simply ground into here and now. Following the breath, just listening and feeling each inhale and each exhale. Three last breaths, grounding into the heart. After your third breath, gently opening the eyes And I'll give a short demonstration of this warm-up flow that we start with. It is the Taoist breath, a wonderful way to tap into the body and into the breath at the same time. So it starts with bringing the arms up with an inhale. On an exhale, bringing the hands to the shoulders and pushing them out to the side. On an inhale, bringing the hands to the tops of the shoulders and open the chest. From here, pushing the hands forward and rounding the back. Once more, we move up towards the sky and into child's pose. So this is the flow that we will move now a couple of times through. All right, are you ready to join? Inhaling, lifting the arms up, lifting the gaze too. Exhaling, dropping the hands to the shoulder tops and pushing them out to the side. Inhaling the hands back to the shoulder tops, opening the heart, lifting the gaze. Exhaling, pushing the hands forward, rounding through the back. Inhaling, the hands go up, the gaze goes up. And exhaling into child's pose. We flow 3 more times through that sequence. Inhaling, lifting the arms up, lifting the gaze. Exhaling, dropping the hands to the shoulder tops and pushing them out to the side. Inhale, the fingertips go back to the tops of the shoulders, opening the chest. And exhaling, pushing the hands forward, rounding through the back. Inhaling, the arms go up, the gaze lifts. And exhaling, folding forward, resting the head on the earth. Inhaling, one more time, inhaling up, lifting the gaze. Exhaling, bringing the arms out to the sides, dropping the chin. Inhaling, the fingertips to the shoulders and opening the chest. Exhaling, pushing forward, extending. And inhaling, lifting the arms. And exhaling to fold. So this is the last flow that we go through. Inhaling up, lifting the arms and gaze. Exhaling, bringing the arms out sideways, dropping the chin. Inhaling, hands go to the shoulder tops, opening the chest. Exhaling, bringing the arms forward, rounding through the shoulders and the back. Inhaling, arms go up one more time. And exhaling, folding forward into child. And just remaining here for a breath, allowing the body to rest just for a moment. Slowly bring your hands next to your face. Gently push into your palms and come back sitting upright. I'll demonstrate our first posture, a very simple posture, butterfly, that we start with. For butterfly pose, you might want to use a cushion or your block or bolster to sit on, just to lift the hip a little and to slightly tilt it forward. For butterfly, we want a considerable space in between the heels and the perineum. For butterfly, if you need to keep your spine straight, if you cannot fold forward, I'd recommend to practice with a bolster, cuddling on a bolster. Otherwise, folding forward in any manner is great, supporting yourself in any way that feels good, or practicing unsupported. Alright, so please join in. Elevate the hips just lightly tilting them forward, making sure there's space between the heels and the perineum. And from here, we're just starting to tilt the body forward. We start the practice by just stopping where you feel your first resistance. That's the depth that we want to stay with. Like a first considerable resistance in the forward bend is what we work with. So in Yin Yoga, we don't want to go right from the beginning on to the most deepest expression possible. And we don't want to work with any muscular engagement. So we come to this point where the body naturally stops. And from there, we settle into a still holding of posture. So this is now really crucial to be still in the body, and to support the stillness and to really make the practice effective, allowing the muscles to relax deeply. So we are relaxing the facial expression. Just check in with your forehead, allowing it to soften, and gripping the jaw. If your neck allows for, letting the head be really heavy, and let gravity pull the head and upper body towards the floor, allowing shoulders to be soft, the belly to be soft, the hips and the legs to be soft. The magic that's working in Yin Yoga is time. So we'll just remain here and waiting for the body to open up and invite greater depth. And if this is happening, just follow this invitation and settle into your next edge. And this way we move through the practice from edge to edge, playing the edge and being with what is given, and just to relax and settle into that. So here in Yin Yoga, no need to effort, no need to fit into a shape. We don't even want to experience ourselves as a shape from the outer side, but rather we hop inside and we are rather experiencing from within. So the question is, how does it feel? Maybe the breath is a good indicator for how you are. You might feel that as the body relaxes more and you're more giving over and letting go, that the breath calms down, that the breath is in a way rhythmic, calm. If you feel it's hard to ground and to settle, and still a lot of thinking is happening, is taking place, draw your breath a little bit more consciously into the abdomen. So inhaling, allowing the belly to expand a little more, and exhaling, allowing the belly to soften and the whole body to drop into a greater state of relaxation. Last breath in butterfly. And after your third breath, whenever that is for you, slowly come out of the posture, really slowly rolling up and coming back to sitting. You might want to lengthen your legs, and if you feel for a bit of counter movement in the chest, you might want to pop up your chest a little or let your head drop back. In yoga, we want to always pause each posture. So pause and letting the stretch to just integrate into the tissues, into the joints. Our next posture is shoelace. For shoelace, you draw one leg in and you fold the other leg on top. Just start where you feel more open and more comfortable to settle in. It might be you come into the posture and it's like, not happening. Take a block. Take a block and sit on your block. The block might drop your knees down and you feel actually that the hip naturally comes more forward. If your knees really don't like the posture, if it's the top knee, take your block and support your top knee and see that this takes the twist out of your knee. If it's the lower knee that complains, open your lower leg and in this way get rid of the complaints. So it's really important that this posture works into the outer hips and not into the knees. Alright, so settling into your expression, and we will go into a forward fold from here, and different options how you can support yourself. Just be comfy on your bolster. You can use it in any way or shape or form. Oftentimes when the bones are supported, the body feels more prone to open, but also you can absolutely practice that unsupported, resting the head on the knee or pouring the chest over your legs. Alright, so let's get into the posture. Slowly folding forward. And folding forward that much where you feel that there is a considerable resistance, and that's where to stop. You could go deeper, you could pull a little more, push a little bit more, but that's not where we want to be. We want to just settle into our edge, and the rest of opening and deepening, this is what we give over to time as we settle into stillness. Making the last adjustments now. Back off a little bit if you went too deep right away. Take care of your knees if you feel this posture in your knees. Change what you do. Extend your lower leg. Lessen the posture. Support your top knee. And from here, just deeply relax the body. Relax the facial expression. Relax the neck and shoulders, the belly and back, and especially relaxing the hips. Drawing now the attention more towards the breath. Feeling the breath moving through the field of the body. On inhale, you might feel how the stretch across the back line of the body increases just a little, and as you exhale, you might feel how you sink deeper into your hips. So being present with the breath brings us back into the body, brings us back into the moment. Stay here for 3 last breaths. And after your 3rd breath, whenever that is for you, very slowly coming out of the posture. And we'll only open the lower leg, extending the lower leg. From here we continue the practice. We come back into a forward fold And this forward fold now, rather than being only in the top part in the back, is now extending all the way down into the leg. So it is here that we just go to this point where you feel the body naturally stops. And here we settle back into stillness, letting the body deeply relax and letting time to do its work. This is a posture which we well know from young practices, and it is often that there's a striving, pulling and deepening that's naturally occurring as an urge in the yogi's body. Here in Yin, just refrain from that and allow the back to round, allow the head to hang, and just allowing gravity, the power of the earth, to work for you. Nothing to be done here. Just relax, receive, be. Connecting back into the breath in case it's gotten lost. Gentle sense of expansion at the front side and at the back side of the body and inhale. And a natural dropping deeper into the shape on exhale. The breath is part of the posture. And the breath is the one that bridges body and mind. The more the body relaxes, the more the breath can relax, flow naturally at ease. And this is transferring into how we feel and our state of mind. Naturally in Yin Yoga practice, it happens that the mind slows down. And it's not so loud and dominant anymore, but rather something that occurs in the background. And a lot of space is opening up, space to simply be. You stay here for 3 last breaths. After your 3rd breath, whenever that is for you, gently press into your hands and slowly, really slowly, come back to sitting and open your top leg. You take now just a moment to rest the body, the joints of the body, to allow the stretch to be integrated into the tissues. If you feel for some counter movement in the top part of the spine, you might puff up the chest and bring your head back. If your hip craves a bit of movement, you can come into windshield wipers, so take the legs a bit apart and give some internal rotation to your hips, only if the body needs. And when you're ready, we come into the other side. So now just take a moment to remember which side you started with, and take now the opposite leg to the floor. And we come again into our shoelace. Be open for a surprise that this side might be completely different, that suddenly the knees complain or they don't anymore. So check in if you want to sit on a block, if that feels better, or if your lower knee maybe doesn't like that, and you simply extend your leg. If your top knee doesn't feel good, remember you can always support it. It's not a knee opening practice. There is no knee opening practice in yoga and in Yin Yoga, so it's for the hips. Get that sensation out of the knees if there is. And from here, we again fold forward slowly and use any kind of support, your block, your bolster, whatever you feel you need to support your arms so that the hips can really open and release. Finding again the edge, so just go as far as the body naturally opens, and when it naturally stops, this is where we stop. We could push further, but no need for that. This is Yin Yoga. So here time and the power of the earth, gravity, is what works in the yin tissues. So allowing now the body once more to deeply rest and relax, and we are settling into a still expression of shoelace, of the posture. Once more relaxing the body deeply. It is each time when coming into a posture a bit of running through a final relaxation, a gradual final relaxation. This is how relaxed and still we want the body to be in the practice. Especially make sure that your belly is soft, that the hips don't carry tension or traction, also the legs, the thighs are soft. Breath is flowing. Allowing the breath to be roughly 4 or 5 counts long. The breath is moving through the nose, it's rhythmic but calm. Feeling how the breath works in the body to support and facilitate the opening and deepening of the posture. On the inhale, you might feel how the back is stretched just a little bit more space is created in the back of the body. On exhale, feel how just naturally the whole body gives in deeper into the posture. The next inhale, you might feel a little more in your outer hips. Feel how it stretches a little more. Asks for a little more space there. And the exhale once more, dropping the body into greater softness, relaxation, depth. Three more breaths. Shoelace. After your third breath, whenever that is for you, slowly help yourself to come back into a vertical spinal position. And we'll open the lower leg. Extend the lower leg forward, and from here we go deeper into our forward fold. If you feel to support yourself in any way, to rest over your bolster, bring the bolster between chest and thigh, you're welcome to do so.
or resting your head on a block between me and your forehead, you're welcome to do so. And be aware, especially in this position, to stop where your body just naturally stops. And allowing the spine to actually round, the head to hang heavy. So the spine is okay to flex here, it is meant to flex here, it's part of the posture. Now the stretch of the back of the body is not only in the top part and the torso, but now extending all the way into the back of the leg too. Feeling how the breath again works into the body, into the posture. The inhale stretches a little more the entire back line of the body. And the exhale allows for deeper sinking relaxation into the pose. If you feel there's still so much thinking happening, and you feel it's really hard to arrive in the practice, breathe a little deeper into your abdomen. So as you inhale, really feel how your abdomen expands. And as you exhale, consciously feel how the abdominal area softens and drops. Consciously work with this abdominal breath that will help you to ground more into the moment and to ground more into the body. 3 last breaths. Whenever the 3 last breaths are done for you, slowly come out of the shape, extending the top leg, and just sit here for a moment, soaking that stretch into the tissues, integrating the works of the posture. If you feel for some movement of the legs and hips, windshield wiper is a great practice. Bring some internal rotation into the hips. And with that, we are moving into the opposite spinal direction, into back bend. So if you feel like, oh, you need to pop up your chest, it's coming. For that, we need now your bolster or bolster-like setup. So we'll practice open heart. For open heart, use your pillow from your bed or bolster or whatever you have, and place that right in front of you. Sitting now with your back towards the bolsters towards the long side of the mat. We bring the feet in butterfly position, and from here we simply pour over the bolster. If you feel that there's a tearing sensation in the knees, or it just feels a little bit too much on the inner thighs, use your blocks and support your knees or the top of your thighs with the blocks on both sides. And from here, we'll take our hands right over our hearts and just open them out to the side. So this is a posture that beautifully opens the front line of the body. It opens the chest in a gentle way, but very, very effective. And it opens the inner thighs. And it opens the heart as well. So just take a moment if you feel you need to make some adjustments, like using your blocks to support your knees or your thighs, or Perhaps you want to play with your hands to give them a little bit more space towards the top or more down. You want to feel that the chest is really nicely opening through the center, through the heart. And from here we simply sink back into stillness. A posture that's quite naturally inviting stillness into the body. Softening the body from top to bottom, softening the forehead, the jaw, the chest, the belly, the thighs, the feet, the hands. The body is soft and wide open. Dropping back into this observation of the breath, just watching how the breath moves through the field of the body. So you're sitting, lying, breathing, watching, feeling, relaxing. You might start observing short pauses after inhalation and after exhalation. The pauses might be very short, like just noticing that there is some stillness in between an in-breath and an out-breath, or an out-breath or an in-breath. Or it really considerably stops for a second or so. That's a sign that your practice works. The stillness of the body is transferring into the stillness of breath. And that probably is supporting and creating space between the thinking mind and you. Observing the body and the breath. Try to find out, where are you in all of that? Is it more an observation coming from inside the body? And is that connected more to the heart or more to the forehead region? Observing rather happening from outside the body, behind the body. Where exactly is your location? Where are you? Stay for 3 last breaths. After your third breath, bring your arms close into the body and support the closing of your knees with your hands from the outside of the top thighs. And from here, dropping the knees down towards one side of the earth and rolling off your bolster. You're just here for a moment to rest the body. just take your hand behind you and push that bolster off the mat, making space that you can roll back onto the yoga mat. And we'll move into twist now. For that, come back on your back. Just bring your knees into the chest, extending the arms out to the sides, and just releasing the knees down towards one side. And if you want to bring a twist more into the top spine, bring your knees a bit higher towards your armpits. If you want to twist more in the lower spine, have your knees rather at hip level. You can try to complete the twist by turning your head away from your knees, but making sure that this doesn't create any dizziness or lightheadedness. If it does, bring your head back to center. Just deeply relaxing and resting in this last shape, twisting out the spine. After, on your next inhale, taking the knees back to center. Staying here just a moment. And whenever you feel ready, dropping the legs down towards the other side. Again, check what you want to do with this twist. If you want to have it rather in the top part of the spine or in the lower part of the spine. If you desire it in the top part of the spine, pull your knees a bit more up towards your armpits. For the lower spine, it's more at the level of the hips. If you turn your head away from your knees, make sure this doesn't create lightheadedness. If it does, simply bring the head back to center. And giving over to stillness. Stay here for 3 last breaths. And after your 3rd breath, on an inhale, bringing the knees back to center, dropping the feet to the floor. And when you feel ready, extending the legs. drawing the arms a little in towards the body. That takes us into Shavasana, relaxation. If you struggle with your lower back, take your bolster and bring your bolster right underneath your knees. Otherwise, if you feel fine, just bring your body, adjust your body into final relaxation. The feet are falling out to the side. The palms face up. There's a little bit of space between the hands and body. Head in line with the spine. Allowing the body to once more deeply, deeply rest. Deeply resting and relaxing both legs. Giving the legs over to the earth. Deeply resting and relaxing the hands and arms. Giving them over to the earth. Deeply resting and relaxing the hips. Giving the hips over to the earth. Resting the belly, the chest, the back, and the shoulders. Giving the torso over to the earth. Resting and relaxing the neck, the facial expression, the jaw, the forehead, the back of the head, the top of the head. Giving the head over to the earth. Whole body given, surrendered, the whole being spacious, free. Coming back to this observation of breath and body. And with the breath anchoring back into the body. As you inhale, feel this expansion of the chest and belly. As you exhale, this gentle sense of release and dropping of body. Take another inhale and send it all the way down into the legs. Exhaling, release. The next inhale into the chest and from there into the arms. Exhale, rest. Another breath, send it up to the top of the head. And gently on exhale, roll your head from side to side if that feels good. If you feel to stretch the body or hug the knees in, or just roll over to your side, move the way that is natural to you. If you're not on your side yet, gently roll over onto your side. One last moment and a big hug of Mama Earth, being held, carried, taken care of. And from there, slowly, in your own time, make your way up to sitting. Just take here a moment to complete the Yin Yoga part by dropping into the heart and just resting for a moment in the expansive, spacious heart. The place of forgiveness, of unconditional giving, unconditional love. Drawing the hands in front of the heart. I remain with gratitude for practicing today on the Easter day together. Namaste. With the heart meditation.
Go. So let's transition smoothly out of this Yin Yoga session into the heart meditation. So the context of this practice is the loving kindness, the compassion, the care and support we can offer to those people in need. And today, during this peace retreat, in the center of our focus, in the center of our heart, truly, are these Ukrainian refugees which lost their home, are losing their country, are losing just about everything. More than 3 million people. The number is inexplicable, of 3 million refugees, and those who are left in Ukraine continue to live in fear at home, losing their home, just about to lose all they have. Instead of relating to millions of people, it can be easier to relate to single friends, families, people we might have heard of, like a friend who told me that she went back home with her kids and husband just before the war started. And she could go back out as a Ukrainian citizen back to Portugal, but the husband and the kids had to stay there because they didn't have a visa to leave. And they're still there, living in fear. And so many other heart-opening life stories, which become frequently even death stories. So the invitation is to send loving kindness with an open heart, sending compassion, blessings, and heartfelt wishes from heart to heart, from human to human. And set the intention to not just cultivate this energetic, peaceful connection, but to also allow ourselves to donate to some families who are desperately in need. So let's open this heart meditation by sitting in an upright yet comfortable pose. Take a deep breath in to open your chest and heart. And with the next exhalation, close the eyes and relax the shoulders down. Continuing to breathe deeply. As we open the heart with each and every breath. Breathing with loving kindness into our own body as we open ourselves. With every inhalation, we allow ourselves to receive. And if you dare, you might even receive with your inhalation the pain and the suffering of those people challenged, overwhelmed, or devastated. Inhaling with an open heart, in a neutral way, with detachment. We might receive their pain in our heart. Gently and softly holding, caressing, nurturing, as we give back with every exhalation loving kindness and nourishing care. Breathing in the pain as we receive with an open heart. And in a compassionate way, turning it around and exhaling loving kindness and care. If you wish, we may amplify and intensify this loving kindness by building this fire of the heart. This fire which burns everything. Which alchemizes and transforms all the pain into love. Trust in the intensity of the fire. In the power of love. the magnificence of the heart. Breathing deeper. And with closed eyes, gently moving the spine. Breathing deeply as we release and detach from any residues. Letting go of all holding. And if you wish, allow those hands to meet in heart center. And if you like, bring your chin to the chest to bow the mind to the heart. And then lifting the head, spreading the arms, the wings, looking up with a soft smile, stretching, opening. And knowing, trusting that our love can make a difference. Small, yet very significant. With one of my favorite quotes by the notorious Jimi Hendrix, when the power of love overcomes the love of power, the world may know peace. Free at last. So we'll move now from this heart meditation into a peace contemplation with one of the most peaceful beings I know, and many of you know Devdas very well. So he will share his peaceful presence, help us to explore the peace within, and also connect to ways how to actively make a difference, to contribute to a more peaceful world via donating selflessly in this charity fundraiser which we are organizing for the Ukrainian refugees, directly supporting them with hands-on material means to cover their most existential needs. So welcome with me, Devdas.
I'm fully overjoyed to be here with you. Happy Easter, welcome, such a joy. Such a joy in my heart to share Easter together, to share practice together, to share Kirsten's beautiful yin, Burkhard's beautiful meditation, and now some words on a topic that I feel at this time in the world, although in a way you could almost say at every time in the world, is so vital to the human experience. Which is, what is peace? Or, where is peace? You know, on Easter Sunday, so special, magical time, and I feel like it's one of the most powerful times to contemplate what is at the heart of spiritual practice and what is the meaning of that practice. It's I want to quote a line actually from the Bible, which I feel like is going to start us off on our journey today, which is kind of a hard one to swallow. So I feel like I just want to invite everybody to open their hearts for a moment, sit in this beautiful receptivity that we've all developed over the course of this program. And the line that I want to quote is, "Be ye therefore perfect, even as your Father in heaven is perfect." Be ye therefore perfect. And why I want to quote that is because many people think of perfection as being an outward quality, right? They think it's the perfection of my personality. It's the perfection of how I act in the world. When in fact, the perfection that's being spoken of is the perfection of every soul. Not some special soul. Every soul. And, you know, the great sages, the great masters that come into our world exemplifies so beautifully this perfection. Just like Kirsten was saying, seeing unconditional love in action. Wow, it just sets the bar so high. And yet every single human being, every thoughtful yogi out there in the world has had a moment of experiencing the perfection of life, where it just feels every single thing that's happening, every sound, even a terrible, dissonant sound way off in the background feels somehow perfect. It's like this moment is perfect. My connection into life is so powerful, so potent, that it's like perfection moving through space. And we were talking the other night in one of our Zoom calls. I'm so grateful to the community of Akasha Yoga. I am so overwhelmed with gratitude for all of you, for every single one who blesses us with their presence. And on the Zoom call, we started talking about ahimsa and many things, and I want to touch in on it again today. But before I want to touch in on it, I want to just share my love and my gratitude and my special thanks to Gadir, my special thanks to Yasmin, Dara, everybody who was on that particular Zoom call. It really touched my heart. So it started with this story from my own teacher in India. And what he said was he went to go meet his teacher, actually, the very first time he ever met his teacher. And he said to his teacher, there's so much dissonance in the world, there's so much war, there's so much inequality, there's so much disharmony. Why or how is it possible that there's so much disharmony? And his teacher smiled and said, because everyone is right. And my own teacher looked a little confused, and his teacher smiled and said, don't worry, you're also right. Now, we have to take that story actually in the right context, because after I told that story, somebody was saying, yes, there is this perfection of life. Every sound is perfect. Everything is perfect. And yet there's times in which our souls are called to act in the world with deep love, deep compassion, deep sympathy, even sometimes, appropriate to say on Easter, sacrificing our own life for the betterment of other human beings. It's the potential of the connectivity to your soul is unlimited. The strength and courage that can come from that are unlimited. So there's a perfection and the experience of that perfection that gives us strength and courage to go out into the world. Now, on the 200 hour I told the story, but I want to tell it again. My teacher once was, he was very fond of giving food to everybody. This is called prasad in India. He loves to hand out prasad to everyone. One day we all showed up and he was handing out food, and one man didn't get the food. And he asked the man, you didn't get food, did you? And the man said, no. And then my teacher said, why did you not come? And the man said, I did not want to disturb you. And my teacher said, I would not have come in to this plane of existence if I did not want to be disturbed. I would not have come into this plane of existence if I did not want to be disturbed. Now, he was speaking about a small disturbance, but you can take that much larger into the larger disturbance, right? What's happening in the world affects every single one of us. And as we grow in awareness of the radical interconnectedness of all life, how could it not? How could it not affect you what's happening in some other part of the world? We're all one human family, you could say. In the call I was mentioning earlier that we were speaking about, the names Martin Luther King and Gandhi both came up. And I feel like those are both perfect examples of how our own connection to our own soul can bring tremendous peace, tremendous love, tremendous strength, tremendous courage, tremendous compassion into our life. But I think it's useful to know that both Martin Luther King started out as a preacher, right? He was a great lover of Jesus, actually. And he started as that before he started as a civil rights activist. Gandhiji the same. Gandhiji was actually head of an ashram in India. That's like someone who's caring for the spiritual well-being of other people. And that was his primary love. And then they recognized that they had a mission, they had a soul mission. And you know, it was questioned on the call, what is ahimsa? What is non-violence? Is non-violence just something violent happens and I'm suddenly running away from it and I'm hiding with my head like this and I'm pretending not to see it? That is not non-violence. Non-violence is the tremendous courage, so beautifully illustrated in Burkhardt's meditation, to be able to unshakingly look at the very, very profoundly difficult situations in life and have your own soul and your own heart's connection to life still alive. Martin Luther King saw his own friends killed. He witnessed violence, unspeakable violence. And yet he found in his heart the tremendous courage to continue in his soul mission. And his soul mission freed an entire nation from the ignorance of racial inequality. I should add that that mission is as alive today as it was when Dr. Martin Luther King was with us firsthand. So, the strength of you, the strength of your connectedness to life, the strength of your soul, the peace in your soul, the perfection of you, is not necessarily an excuse to run off to a cave or to not participate in the world. And ahimsa, which is this quality of non-violence, does not necessarily mean that you won't see violence in your life. It means that when you see violence in your life, I should say, you find the tremendous, tremendous courage, the unspeakable faith to say, I hold my connection, my intimacy with life, my connection to life, my love of all things, alive in my heart, no matter what happens outwardly in the world. I have enough faith that I can be the power of love in front of the power of hate. And you know, sometimes, I mean, I should maybe back up a half step and say that sometimes we think of Martin Luther King, we think of Jesus Christ, we think of Gandhi as being something long ago. And what I would encourage anybody who is interested in those lives and in those stories, and especially in the stories of the Bible, don't imagine them as something that happened 2,000 years ago. Imagine them as something that's happening right now. Because the life of a Buddha, the life of a Christ, the life of a Muhammad, the life of a sage, the actualization of unconditional love, challenging circumstances beyond challenging circumstances. And what does the sage say? Nevertheless, thy will be done. Now we're back in the same question, right? Nevertheless, thy will be done is everything is perfection as it's happening right now. But that's not an excuse to turn away or run away. Sometimes it's an excuse to stand firm with all of your courage and all of your love and all of your strength. And I want to take a moment now and just honor Daria. Daria, we love you. We love you so much. And we're with you in the heart. And we thank you for everything that you have given, for the strength and the courage, for the love, for being able to stand, at least in part, in a terrible situation and find the strength to say, what can I give? How can I help? There's suffering going on in the world. What can be my way to ease some of it for somebody? I was so touched in her message. We'll watch Daria's message later, but I was so touched in her message. Even she said, there's people taking care of the animals that are uncared for. Just, wow. It's come so clear in my heart. Thank God somebody is able to provide that. Thank God somebody has the strength and the courage to actualize their heart's love, to find the space in their heart that's unconditional. Many people in our own community have been touched by the soul named Thich Nhat Hanh. Several people have mentioned him in calls. I had the privilege to meet this soul in India. This was a very blessed and special moment in my life. And one of my closest friends in the world is part of his Sangha. She's part of his spiritual Sangha. And Thich Nhat Hanh actually had the chance over the course of his life to rebuild and participate in many acts of conscious, peaceful, loving, and rebuilding community. First and foremost in his home country, Vietnam, but actually all around the world. Right now, there are nuns from Plum Village. Plum Village is the place that Thich Nhat Hanh created, in refugee camps in Ukraine. So, we think sometimes people who are willing to sacrifice their life for their spiritual ideal idealize their own heart's and soul's connection to life, are something of the past. But that's simply not true. Many brave souls today doing the same thing, using the technology of prayer, yoga, connecting to the deepest part of their own soul, self-inquiry. Who am I? One of our students was taking a journal, a self-inquiry journal. And he said after each meditation, maybe only one sentence would come. But one of the sentences that came was, I am unending peace. Imagine what a soul like that can do in the world. I am unending peace. In the Bible, the peace that surpasseth all understanding. Meaning what? Meaning it cannot be understood by the mind. But you know it. You know it so much, it gives you that kind of courage that you put yourself in harm's way. The nuns from Plum Village in refugee camps, they must have tasted something of who and what they actually are to have that kind of strength. And I want to read you now their description of what it was like to be in Ukraine during the wartime. They write, most places of worship have been converted into housing for war refugees. Wow, it shows you exactly what I'm sharing. Those with the spirit and those with the strength immediately offer what they can. We met young children with mothers but few fathers. Oh, many of the families couldn't contain their tears from the pain of seeing their homes and communities destroyed by bombs and having to run away to save their lives. Many are suffering so greatly they could only stare into space in shock over what happened to them. To protect the children, some mothers told us they don't even speak about the war in front of them, or discuss out loud what's happening beyond the walls of the buildings now providing them shelter. In the meantime, the children were simply being children, playing despite all they've experienced, the life in them still springing up and sparkling. Wow. The worst of life situations, and children are in their natural state. The one question that kept coming up from families was, why? Why do they kill us, they asked. The group of religious leaders we were part of didn't come to offer answers, but to be with them, to feel with them. Now that is unconditional love. Don't come to offer answers, but to feel the depth of everyone's experience and to offer some of the soul's courage and unconditional love. Then it says, it was hard to hold back our tears because our visit was very short and we had to leave the families without changing their situation, without ending the war or stopping their suffering. But perhaps by their seeing us come to Ukraine, despite the situation, to tell them that they are loved, we were able to plant seeds of hope in their hearts. Seeds we hope will sprout again from the soil of our shared humanity. All praise and blessings to the nuns from Plum Village. All praise and blessings to all souls, selflessly offering their love, their strength, and their courage in a situation that can only be described as more than difficult. And now back to our dear one, our beloved Daria. Who's also there with the people of Ukraine, offering support, financial support, but much more than that also. Love, courage, even for the animals. Let's watch Daria's video together. I feel it's a message.
My name is Daria. I graduated from
my heart so deeply.
My name is Daria. I
help
graduated
but,
from Akasha
but
Yoga
touched me.
Academy 3 years ago. I was born in Kiev, Ukraine. I'm reaching out to you today because my country is under the war and Ukraine needs your support. Houses, schools, kindergartens, hospitals, maternity hospitals are being destroyed. Millions of people are hiding in the bomb shelters. Akasha Yoga Academy has set up a fundraiser. I'm asking every one of you to help as much as you can, even if it's little as a cup of coffee. Trust me, it makes a difference. Thank you so much for every donation that you make. With all my heart, with the heart of every Ukrainian out there, but thank you so much.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, Daria. Thank you for the beautiful work that you're doing. Thank you for the humility of your video. Daria says in the video, just the price of 1 cup of coffee. I think we all can give more. Because we need somebody through whom we can give. And actually I was so happy when I heard this message of Daria because I felt like sometimes, at least in the Devdas realm, I'm hesitant to give to organizations because I never know what that organization is really doing with the money. Daria's money is going directly to people and animals. Then how can we not want to support that? I cannot be there in person right now in my life. So I'm counting on Daria to be there for me. And I'm supporting as much as I can, as much as feels right in my heart, to be able to tell her, hey, we're standing with you. We're side by side. My love is here, my heart is here with you. In the midst of the worst of human behavior comes the best of human behavior. The ability to selflessly give and I don't really have much more to say other than, Daria, we love you so much. We're standing by your side. A whole international family of yogis from all around the world, sending you love, sending you our prayers, and not just to Daria, but to all of Ukraine. Just like Burkhard said, 3 million refugees. Every day, find a little time in your heart to just consciously send love. Because that's the Dharma. Dharma means righteous action. That when you see inequality and injustice, you're willing to stand. The great saint Anandamoy Ma from India, she was really an embodiment of the Divine Mother. So much so that she wouldn't even take food. People had to feed her. And but someone said, what if someone does something undharmic to you? And just like a warrior, she looked at them and she said, let them try. Let them try. The strength of the spiritual heart, the strength of unconditional love, should not be underestimated. And it should be converted into action. It should be converted into the way that you move in the world, the way that you share your finances in the world, the way that you share your love in the world, should be an expression of your natural connection and joy in life. Let's just take one moment as the closing of this chapter of our event today. Just close your eyes, generate all of the love that you can in your heart center. Just feel all of the power of your soul, the power of your love. And let's just consciously send that out into the world. To Ukraine, to Daria, to all of the ones that are in need. Om Shanti, 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 which means, may there be peace prevailing again on earth and everywhere. Dear ones, we have our switching gears now, and we'll have a question and answer. Kirsten's here too, huh? She is, I'm sorry. Oh, wow. $1,392 donated so far.
Many blankets.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Many blankets, maybe hot cups of tea, some food. Basic needs being covered. Providing for those people who are really in need. And it brings tears to my eyes to receive via the words of Devdas this heartfelt connection to those hearts, to those devastated beings. We tend to get numb in the media coverage. But as Charlotte is asking, how are you feeling today? Connected. Connected to those people in need. And for me it opens a whole other level of perception of this disaster, this humanitarian disaster. And it's, in many ways, I feel a turning point in history, where we thought in Europe that peace is a given, but unfortunately it's not. Unfortunately it's not. And if we see it historically, we have to see that the Cold War turned into a hot war again. A burning, devastating conflict. So,
Nitya Priyan also logging on. Nitya Priyan, we send so much love. And Katie also, love hearing your laugh again. Thank you for sending out compassion to the world. Exactly. Exactly. Speaking of which...
actually, Priyan is watching with his community in Singapore, with his yoga school. And
beautiful.
connecting
Oh
from
my
our
gosh.
family.
We miss you. We hear that you might be coming to Bali, which was like lighting up our hearts.
Exactly.
So,
Priyan is a graduate of us who is having his own yoga school and teaching 200 and 300 hour courses in Singapore, and now also coming over to Bali.
such an awesome, awesome yogi.
Amazing, the best. So,
And the littlest of yogis.
the smallest
Hello.
of yogis in the innocence of luckily not yet knowing about the madness of human nature, which causes such wars, but which also now gives hope on the other end of the scale. So, as Devdas would always say, in such difficult moments, we gotta double up.
Yeah.
And I feel in these days, tripling up is not enough.
Yeah.
So, standing together. And also, as Devdas said, supporting directly where we know that our donations are directly received on site and don't go to some organization, some admin bureaucracy. But yes, unfortunately, we have some transaction fees from the credit card, PayPal, whatnot. But apart from those 3%, it goes straight to Daria, and Daria is directly there in Poland, directly using it to buy blankets, buy ingredients for the survival and well-being of those refugees, as well as the people still in Ukraine, which is so many more million.
Yeah.
So please consider to donate maybe more than a cup of coffee. Be generous and share with an open heart.
Looks like there's a question coming in about yin. Love, do you want to answer that one?
Sure. Probably the question is what's happening with the yin course.
The answer is, yay, we're filming.
The answer is
Yes, we're currently recording
It
the
is
Yin Yoga teacher training.
it is happening. It is happening. I cannot say exactly when it will be finished. I can just say I'm in it with all my heart, and it's such a joy to put this Yin course together, because the Akasha Yin approach is a little bit different than the classic Yin approach, because of course so dear to all of our hearts is self-inquiry, and what we do here in Akasha is blending basically Yin Yoga with self-inquiry. So we're not classically kind of working that much on the side of the energetics of Yin Yoga, but we blended quite a bit with self-inquiry, and this for me personally is just such a powerful work, to blend Yin Yoga, or to use the Yin Yoga practice, the stillness and this natural introspective space that comes out of the stillness, to use that for self-inquiry. Basically, it is kind of a meditation mixed with asana, almost something like that, and this is what we're working on currently, and I'm immensely excited about that. We just recorded a couple of sessions also with music, with a great musician who was here. I just loved so much working with her together, and yeah, I'm all Yin these days, and already for quite a while. It's just like such a dear and important practice. And of course, Serena shifted my life also quite a bit more into the Yin side of life as a mother, and it's happening. It's happening, I think, in summertime. Anytime in summertime, the course should be ready. This is a teacher training course that I'm talking about right now. Like, it's the 80 hours teacher training course. This is what we work currently on, but I want to also do more for people who don't necessarily intend to become teachers, just for practice. So it's baking in the oven. And soon it's ready to be pulled out and put on the table and to be shared.
We came in one day just after Kirsten was recording, so that I could record my session, and I saw her, and there was almost, you could see tears in her eyes. She said there was tears in my eyes. The music was so beautiful. It brought tears to my eyes. So it's made with so much love and so much heart, and we look forward to connecting everybody.
Yeah, we'll
soon.
keep you updated definitely when it's about to be launched and ready to be received. Definitely we'll keep you in the loop.
Anna says, sending love to all the Akasha family, Ukraine, Daria, and those in need. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So much love. It's such a blessing to be, I mean, I shared it in my talk, but to me it's such a blessing to be part of this community. I feel you all so much in the heart, so much love, so much gratitude for each one of you. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
So thank you everyone for being part of this short but deep Yoga for Peace retreat. We trust that you felt some connection to your own heart, to our global yogic family, and I trust also some new opening and compassion for those people in Ukraine being affected by the war, which we focused in today, while knowing that without that massive media coverage, there's dozens and dozens of other wars of smaller or similar proportion happening on an ongoing basis on this planet. So even if this Ukraine war will come to an end, unfortunately, in other areas those wars continue, those conflicts and severe violent expressions of the shadow of humanity. So thank you for opening your heart, and thank you for joining us in this YouTube live session. We are committed to opening this channel to connect to you on a very regular basis. Actually, once per week, we will publish new content and inspiration here on this YouTube channel. So please subscribe to the channel, and please also leave some additional comments afterwards, like the videos, share them. You know how the modern algorithm world works. Especially for the launch of our YouTube channel, we will need some extra love, so this valuable content which we will share can be received by more people around the globe. I recorded a small series with 3 talks on yoga against depression, so that is coming up. And in the following weeks, also other talks about how to get inspired to practice. Kirsten obviously will share some practice. As you know, she's very keen not only on the yin practices, but also on other asana explorations. And for sure, Devdas will be open to answer some of your questions. And I encourage you to come back to this new platform for us and visit our YouTube channel to get the regular food for your heart with weekly videos to follow. Thank you so much for supporting us in this, supporting the Ukrainian people, and giving some compassionate care also to your own heart in these intense and challenging times, nurturing yourself in peaceful practice to then be able to go outside and share your love with those in your community and beyond.
You guys,
1,777. Yes,
that's a lot more than a cup of coffee.
And that's a good moment to
We
close on.
We love you guys.
So
we love you guys.
Thank you so much
Thank
for
you,
all your
you.
big donations.
Yeah,
And maybe you can
Claire,
even pass on
Charlotte,
to your family, you know,
Katie.
encourage your brother, sister, auntie, neighbor to also donate to a truly good cause. Thank you so much.
Oh, so many beautiful ones here. We love you so much. Sending big, big, big love and gratitude.
Yeah.
And
all the best, young Garuda,
and happy
Katie,
Easter.
happy Easter,
everyone.
Claire, everybody in the house. Awesome. Thank you so much, and see you very, very soon here on the YouTube channel and on other platforms to connect from heart to heart.
And maybe in magical Bali. We love you guys.
Love you. Bye.
Ciao,
Bye.
everyone.
Ciao, ciao.
You want to say bye-bye?
Bye, Serena.
No? Bye-bye.
Okay.